U.S. Vice President Joe Biden is in Colombia as part of a four-nation tour that also includes Brazil, Dominican Republic, and Guatemala. His talks are aimed at repairing relations and addressing the immigration issue. And according to the White House, the vice president hopes to show that the U.S. is first in line to support the South American nation. CCTV's Michelle Begue is live for us in Bogota with the details. Michelle.
Yes, Elaine, on his second stop, U.S. Vice President Joe Biden has come to Colombia just 3 days after President Juan Manuel Santos won re-election on the back of peace negotiations in Havana with the rebel group Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, known as FARC.
U.S. Vice President Joe Biden was warmly welcomed by the Colombian President Juan Manuel Santos in the presidential palace.
Colombia is honored to be a strategic partner for the United States. It's not only our business partner, but we also have a lot in common.
First on the agenda was to follow up on advances made on the ongoing peace talks with the rebel group FARC to end 50 years of armed conflict. In May, the FARC and Colombian government negotiators reached an agreement on eliminating the illegal drug trade. Other topics on the agenda included energy and economic ties.
President Santos and I spoke about how our countries can work together together with the island nations of the Caribbean on energy and on security.
During the press conference, the two leaders wanted to make it clear that support for Colombia goes further than the peace process as the two nations cooperate in economics, energy, security, and sciences.
As the President mentioned, I had the honor for many years in the United States Senate to help write and shepherd through Plan Colombia through the United States Senate, and nothing would make me happier, Mr. President, than to come back to Colombia for the signing of a final peace accord.
Michelle, the U.S. has asked Latin American countries to take in detainees from Guantanamo Bay prison. Has that come up at all during this trip?
Well, during the press conference, this never came up. Guantanamo Bay was not even mentioned, but it must be mentioned that earlier today, Joe Biden did give an interview to the local newspaper El Espectador in Colombia, and he said that the U.S. is requesting Latin American nations to please accept detainees in order to close down Guantanamo Bay faster. But it has not been mentioned by Colombia. Colombia did say earlier in the year that they had received this request and they were reviewing it, but they have not mentioned it during this trip. And it's important to note that it would probably be a very controversial measure if Colombia did accept detainees, as there is a problem of overcrowding in this country. Back to you, Elaine.
All right, CCTV's Michelle Begue live for us in Bogota.